Welcome back to the Heritage Parks Formula V Championship. The latest encounter sees us here at Silverstone. It marks the halfway stage of the season and Craig Pollard is top of the championship standings. However, he's only 19 points ahead of Danny Hans, who puts up pole position for this first race. So let's see how they get on. Andy McEwen, over to you.
Sunny Silverstone then plays host to the penultimate meeting of the year, and it's Daniel Hans and Graham Gant who make the front row for race 1, with Craig Pollard and Ian Jordan on row 2. Ian Buxton and Tim Probert ahead of Steve-O and Peter Belsey on the 4th row. However, it would appear that Daniel Hans for some reason has not taken up his pole position, so all on his own on row 1 is the yellow car of Graham Gant. So the WEV is on the front row alone. So this is drama immediately for the man who actually on dropped scores is only 8 points off the championship lead. So it's even closer than we thought, but he's not there at the front of the grid. We'll have to see if he makes an appearance. Away we go, and a terrible start from Gant on the front row of the grid, so he will be swamped by the rest of the field as they launch down towards Abbey Corner for the first time. And Graham Gant is going to be down in about 5th or 6th place, maybe even worse by the time the first corner shuffle is done. Everyone else safely through though, which is good to see, and they work their way up towards the complex for the first time. Hard on the brakes they go. Car number 8 there is Tim Probert. The yellow machine there is Graham Gant, who is 6th place in the championship going into this penultimate meeting of the year. He has, of course, had 3 race victories, but not had the consistency over the course of the year to be up there as a real championship contender. And a not particularly good start here at Silverstone doesn't really help his cause all that much. So now the slipstream starts to take effect, and very much like Formula Ford 1600 racing, Formula V racing relies an awful lot on the slipstream. At the front of the field, you can see is car number 92, Craig Pollard. 2 times a winner this year is Craig Pollard. He did the double at Croft earlier on in the season, and he's already pulling away at the front of the field in this one. Second position looked like it was Ian Jordan. Yes, it was, number 4. And then everyone else dicing over 3rd place. In 3rd place at the moment, working his way through there. Now, is that... I can't quite spot the number on the 3rd place car, but I think it's somebody who's moved. There's been a lot of shuffling gone on here at the start of the year. I think it's Ian Buxton who's in the 3rd position, and then Graham Gant there you can see in the 6th place, the yellow car, trying to work his way up the order. But yes, it is Ian Buxton in 3rd place. And then in behind him, Peter Belsey by the looks of it, the green car. Then you've got the red number 8 of Tim Probert. And it's Belsey here who's trying to make a move for 3rd place towards Village. He's trying to get up the inside of Ian Buxton under braking, which he almost does, but Buxton's late enough on the brakes to hang on to the position. And Peter Belsey in the unique looking Spider Mark II is rocking his way down the hill in position already in the early stages. Michael Oldknow here on the brakes down towards the right-hander of Village, and he loses the rear of the car, and he's pointing the wrong way, and he has to wait for the last couple of cars to come through and then get going. Now, has he stalled the car? That's the next question. Fires back into life, so I think he had stalled it, but thankfully these things are not too reluctant to fire back up again after a spin, and so he's able to continue on his way. Graham Gant here still trying to fight back, trying to find a way past Tim Probert, who is 4th in the championship coming into this race on 101 points, and he, of all of the championship contenders, has already had 2 races that he didn't finish, so he is counting them as his dropped scores, so he doesn't have to drop any more results. But of course, if he has another bad finish, then his safety cushion of those 2 drop scores is now gone. So for Tim Probert, he's sort of on a knife's edge now for the rest of the season. With drop scores into account, he's 31 points off the championship lead, so work to be done anyway. It's unlikely that he'll be the champion this year, and especially if he succumbs to the pressure from Graham Gant, although Graham Gant threw it up the inside then, and in fairness, I don't think there's much that Tim Probert could do to stop him coming through. So Graham Gant is now into 5th place, but that was a real block pass. That's the sort of move that you have to make, really, in that part of the circuit. So Gant into the top 5 again now, and he needed to do that quickly because the top 4 cars were getting away. You can see that at the very front of the field. Oh, I'll interrupt myself because into the gravel trap has gone Dave Wallace down at Vale. Broken left rear suspension on that car by the looks of it. Side by side for 3rd place as well. Here, Peter Belsey up the inside of Ian Buxton through Stowe, and Buxton runs way wide, loses the position, I think. And also behind, we saw Tim Probert back up the inside of Graham Gant as well. Well, we don't have a change of position for 3rd because into the yellow flag zone, unfortunately Peter Belsey had to back out of the manoeuvres, so it will still be Buxton in 3rd, and it will still therefore for the same reason be Gant in 5th, but they were both under pressure there though from their respective challengers going into Stowe Corner, and they both did well to hang on to the places. Peter Belsey though here definitely looks quicker than Ian Buxton at this stage. He's in the slipstream down towards Abbey Corner again. turns into the right-hander. 13 minutes plus 1 lap, of course, the race is for the Heritage Park Centre Formula V Championship, so they're short, sharp thrashes. You've got to get a move on in the early stages, otherwise you're going to lose touch with the leaders. You just don't have time in the middle of the race to be closing down a big gap to the lead contenders. He knows this, so he wants to get into third place quickly so that he's got a fighting chance of going after the leading two. Graham Gant looking more secure now in 5th position, ahead of Probert behind in 6th place. Then this battle going on for 7th position. Number 5 is Paul Taylor. Paul Taylor, who is a former winner in this championship, but things not going quite his way this year. He's down in 10th place in the points. There's your leader though, Craig Pollard, running away with this in the early stages by Formula V standards. Look at the lead that he's got over Ian Jordan in 2nd. The 3rd, there hasn't been a change, but there nearly was that time around. It's back down into the double waved yellow flag zone they go. But the car appears to be out of the gravel trap now, so hopefully next time around they should have it all covered. Steve O, by the way, is number 50 car here, defending from Paul Taylor, who's doing his best to try and work his way up the order into this 7th position. Further up the order, look at Peter Belzy, trying to get past Ian Pollard still. Sorry, Buxton, excuse me, still can't do it. He's definitely quicker, and just finding the gap and making moves stick is the difficulty. He goes to the outside towards Village, but on the inside of both of them goes Graham Gant, and that was a really good move by Graham. He picks 2 places up in one fell swoop, runs a bit wide on the exit, so he's a bit slow on the way out of the corner, but that's not slow enough to allow Buxton or Belzy back alongside. So Graham Gant read that situation well, saw that the 2 cars in front of him were so preoccupied racing each other that they'd sort of forgotten that he was there, and he was able to slip from 5th into 3rd in one corner. Can he now pull away from that group and go after the leading 2? That's not going to be easy to do, but he has got the pace. He qualified 2nd on the grid, but of course with the demise of Daniel Hans, that meant that he was essentially on pole position by 0.4 of a second, nearly half a second in fact quicker than anyone else in qualifying. So Graham Gant definitely has the speed. Peter Belzy has now gone into 4th as well, so he might be able to go with him possibly. These do look like 2 of the quicker cars on the track. That's if they don't start getting tangled up together, which at the moment is what's happening. Graham Gant feeling the pressure, gets a bit sideways out of the first part of club, hampers his speed into the second part of the corner, and so Peter Belzy will be trying to take advantage of that little loss of momentum to use what seems to be decent straight line speed actually in the Spider to attack into Abbey. He can't do it on the way into the corner. What about on the way out though? He's back in the tow again. He's had more speed out of the turn and he should be able to challenge up towards Village. Graham Gant therefore moves over to the middle of the road to defend, but that will compromise his exit speed. And unless Peter Belzy can get the overrun, it will also compromise his speed. Indeed it does. So neither of them are likely to be gaining on the leaders at this rate. To really work together a bit more here if they're going to have any chance of going after Craig Pollard and Ian Jordan, who shared the 2nd row together. Both got ahead of the slow starting Gant. Gant will be ruining that slow start because he's clearly got pace, but has just ended up getting tangled up fighting for positions outside the top 3. He's into the top 3 now though. Can he chase down the leader? Well, not at this rate because Belzy's going up the inside now. Peter Belzy has no intention, of working together with the pole sitter. He wants to get through. He feels that he's quicker and that maybe this whole group could go more quickly if he was in front. But Peter Belzy, although he's drawn alongside on a couple of occasions already in the last lap or so, hasn't yet been able to make a move work. Starting to pair off now though, aren't they? These 2 pulling away from the 5th place squabble going on behind in Buxton, keeping Tim Probert at bay, but by only a car length or so as they run down towards Abbey Corner and back along the run towards Village. The yellow car of Graham Gant into 3rd place now. The WEV, can he chase down the Bears GAC of Craig Pollard and the Sheen of Ian Jordan? Again, great variety in the chassis at least of these Formula V entrants. Running the engine from a VW Beetle, hence the name Formula V, and it's been a very, very popular category for many a year now. 31 cars on the grid this weekend shows that it's not losing any of that popularity either. Side by side here for 5th position, Tim Probert looking to the inside of Ian Buxton, and I think he's about to go through in towards Stowe Corner. Nice exit down the straight, and he was able to execute the slingshot manoeuvre in the slipstream, and through he goes. Buxton might be able to fight back again though down the hill. This is the race leader who's already making his way out of Club Corner. It will be shortly, excuse me. There's a few back markers coming through first of all, but our race leader Craig Pollard will be with us shortly. There he is, Craig Pollard with this gap now over second place man Ian Jordan, who also is negotiating traffic. Already they're getting into the back markers. Of course, there's quite a variance in speed between some of the cars of different ages out on the circuit, drivers of different levels of experience as well. So that's why we're seeing back markers already becoming a factor, although we're really just into the second half of the race. Towards Village comes this ongoing fight for third. Peter Belsey pushing Graham Gant on quickly here, but they are lapping quickly, and they are fractionally quicker at the moment than Ian Jordan, not massively so, but if they really were to work together, I do think they could probably catch him, but a bit of a mistake there from Gant. But actually, well, it looks like a mistake. We've seen that quite a lot here in the past on the Silverstone International Circuit. That wide line, missing the apex at Chapel, can sometimes give you more speed down the straight. They're side by side again for fifth as well. Ian Buxton won't give in here. He's lost this place to Tim Probert, but now he wants to get it straight back if it's all possible. Side by side down the straight, but I think Probert in the red car was squeezing across to the inside line. I think he was just able to get over to defend that one. Third place battle, now a little bit more separation between them. So is this going to allow Graham Gant even to pull away, or are we going to see Peter Belsey reel him in once more? There is Probert. He is indeed still fifth, ahead of Buxton sixth. And Buxton, a lot more speed into club, and yes, a bit too much speed into club. He ran a bit wide over the curb, messes up the exit speed then. But with the slipstream effect of these cars that I mentioned, we will see him close back in, I'm sure, down the pit straight. I think in front of them, though, that Peter Belsey has now lost the toe to Graham Gant, so that should be enough for Gant to be able to pull away. Much more speed through Abbey Corner there for Ian Buxton. He draws himself alongside Probert towards Village. On the inside line is the Union flag liveried car. Round the outside goes the all-red version of Probert. He's off the track, he's over the curb, but he's still got the inside line for the link. Don't tangle wheels, this could get very dicey indeed down towards Chapel, but Buxton I think is going to go through, and a bit of understeer there for Probert. He wasn't able to get the switch back, but he will have the slipstream down the straight, and actually he was still quite a bit quicker off the corner there than Buxton was. Buxton goes right down to the grass on the inside, but look at that, Probert just drives straight past him. So Tim Probert with far superior traction off the corner. That's the effect the slipstream has in these cars, because then Buxton is able to duck back into the slipstream and almost actually drew back alongside. So Tim Probert able to use the toe to his advantage, but that goes to show that you can lose a place and then regain it all in the same straight, or very nearly regain it even, all thanks to the effects of the slipstream. There you're leading to. The black car just at the tail end, just ducking at the inside, in fact, of the back marker, was your race leader, Craig Pollard. Then the blue and yellow of Ian Jordan, who is now definitely being caught by Graham Gant. Graham Gant has every chance here of taking second place before the end of the race. That would go down very, very well for him, as he tries to get himself into the top 5 in the championship. Tim Probert running a bit wide through Abbey, and so Ian Buxton's now going to potentially be alongside in towards Village. Goes from the right-hand side of the road to the left-hand side of the road. Probert it is who gets into the right-hander first. Buxton, can he get the switch back on the exit? I don't think he can, so Probert hangs on to 5th place. Drops down the hill, again the wide line into the corner. He just seems to carry good speed off the turn, but then the slipstream starts to take effect. They're both being caught as well by the car behind as well, which I think is still Paul Taylor, isn't it, reeling them in. Steve-O you can see off in the background, even further adrift, but Ian Buxton pulls to the outside of Tim Probert and drives back through. So this is turning into a really entertaining battle between these two. They're costing themselves handfuls of time to the leaders up the road, but it matters little really, because they're providing lots of entertainment. Last lap begins then for the race leader Craig Pollard, who looks as though he's going to take his 3rd victory of the season. He's just behind this little battle, working its way through Abbey Corner. That was the number 9 car going up the inside. That was Richard Waddingham gaining a place. And these two are likely to go a lap down before the end of the race, but they are enjoying their battle. It's number 83 that he just got past, which was Vaughan Jones, on board with Christian Line here, as he, with Vaughan Jones here down towards Chapel, along the Hanger Straight, and he's in the toe. Watch for the race leader Craig Pollard. There he is, off to the right hand side. And look, trying to get every bit of slipstream that he can, pulls in behind the next back mark. He's got no one behind him challenging him. May as well try and go as quickly as he can on this final lap. Gets up the inside of both back markers into Stone Corner, locks up, goes through. So Craig Pollard comes out of the final corner and wins the first race of the weekend for the Heritage Park Centre Formula V Championship. Graham Gant will be second, so he got ahead of Ian Jordan in the late stages. Ian Jordan drops down to third position with Peter Belsley fourth, and I believe, is it going to be Tim Probert in fifth? I think it will. So Craig Pollard takes the opening victory of the weekend from Graham Gant, Ian Jordan, Peter Belsley, and it was indeed Tim Probert fifth, Steve-O sixth, Christian Goller seventh, and Andrew Cooper, Sam Engineer, and John Hughes rounds out the top 10. And it was Daniel Hans, 11th, started from the pit lane, we believe, so got some points, not as many as he'd have liked, ahead of Mark Egan, Jamie Harrison, David Lenuski, and Ed Lowndes, who rounds out the top 15. Non-finishes, well, Ian Buxton pulled off into retirement towards the end, so too did Paul Taylor. Alex Jones, Dave Wallace, Phil Waterhouse, and Colin Gregory also failed to finish.
Well, Craig, I spoke to you before the race. You said there was more pace. Did you expect to have that sort of gap at the end of the race?
Probably not the gap that we did have, to be fair. But yeah, I thought we'd made some move forward from qualifying, so it did translate into the race.
Extends lead at the top of the championship as well.
It does, probably mixes things up a bit as well. With Danny obviously not doing so well, Ian was third in the championship, I think. So I think that will put Ian in second. So he'll be the next rival to me to focus on beating now. But I've just got to put my championship head on now and just focus on who I need to beat. Not necessarily getting the wins, but this win today was a good one. I've always wanted to maintain that gap, not be have someone breathing down my neck, and we did that. So it's excellent.
A bit of breathing space going into the last races this weekend.
Yeah, well, at Mondello and then a few weeks, and then obviously, but the car hasn't moved since coming back to Silverstone, to be fair. I don't always get the time to do it, but we had a good day testing, to be fair. We've got a wet setup ready for tomorrow because I think it's going to rain, so that will throw something in the mix, no doubt.
So, well, we'll keep an eye on it, but for now, go and enjoy it. Well done.
Cheers, thanks.
Well, Graham, interesting start. Commiserations for Danny. You lost a few places, got them back. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the sponsors first for VW Heritage Parts for their contribution to the Formula. Yes, it was a disappointing start. Normally I'm quite good off the line. Unfortunately, we lost the first gear as it came off the line, which meant that time to sorted that out. I was some way back down, and coming through the grid at that point was going to be a challenge to try and get back up onto Craig. It was going quickly. Unfortunately, we ran out of laps to try and grab him, but it was exciting. We enjoyed it. Yeah, enjoyed it.
Rain due tomorrow. That's going to mix things up a bit. Are you better in the wet or the dry?
We'll have to see. We certainly did a lot of work yesterday, very much like Craig, and I think we've got something that's better than we've had in the previous wet races. So we're hoping we've got something at least can hold our own. We're on pole tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, for now, while the sun's shining, go and enjoy it. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well, Ian, busy race to come away with the podium. You've got to be happy.
Yeah, if you told me I was going to be on the podium before the race, I'd have ripped your hand off. After seeing Danny not start, and then Graham make a very unusual bad start, because normally he's like a rocket off the line, and my plan was to just get on his tail and maybe slipstream him and get away from everybody else. That plan disappeared after the first corner. And then I looked behind me and there was nobody, and I was like, oh, me and Craig can just clear off here. I was holding steady with Craig. I was never going to catch him. I didn't have the pace to catch him. I was quite comfortable in second. Then the back markers came, tripped me up a couple of times in all the wrong places, and next thing you know, Graham's on my gearbox, and I was like, I have no idea where he came from, but he's pretty quick, so I knew it wasn't worth trying to defend him. I was off the cam and chugging along. I just thought if I follow him, maybe I'll get him back, but it was the last lap, so that was that. But he did brilliantly to get back to where he got to, I must say, because he must have gone a long way back. So yeah, but really, I mean, I've been away on holiday for 2 weeks, so I haven't had a chance to look at my car. So I've got to thank my dad, really. He's been in the garage doing all the work on the car. I've been laying on the beach, and then I've come to here, and here he is all set up ready, and so it's hats off to him, really. It's all down to him that I come where I come. So all I do is drive the thing. He does all the work. So thanks to him, really.
You still got to bring it home. So a big thanks to Dad, and well done to you.
Yeah, thanks very much.